what you're saying is one very important point, that we need to move past the military gatekeepers of technology, right?
It's not just military
sort of
now, though. It's big tech, which are advertising agencies in
Facebook,
in essence.
social media, things that are constantly predicting your next purchase, right?
Yeah, because if you think about it, and I mean, even in a semi-democracy like we have in the U.S., I mean, those who control the brainwashing of the public, in essence, control who votes for what, and who controls the brainwashing of the public is advertising agencies, and who increasingly are the biggest advertising agencies are the big tech companies who are accumulating everybody's data and using it to program their minds to buy things. So this is what's programming the global brain of the human race. And of course, there are close links between big tech and the military. Look, Amazon has 25,000 person headquarters in Crystal City, Virginia, right next to the Pentagon. And I mean, China, it's even more direct and unapologetic, right? So it's a new military industrial advertising complex, which is guiding the evolution of the global brain on the planet.
Well, we found that with this past election, right? With all the intrusion by foreign entities trying to influence the election, that they've these giant houses set up to write bad stories about whoever they don't want to be in office. Yeah,
in a way, that's almost a red herring, but the Russian stuff is almost a red herring, but it revealed what the processes are, which are used to program.
How's it almost a red herring?
Oh, because I think whatever programming of Americans' minds is done by the Russians is minuscule compared to the programming of Americans' minds by the American corporate and government elite, right? So,
but it's fascinating that anybody's even jumping in as well as the American elite.
Sure, it's interesting, and if you look at what's happening in China, that's like they're way better at it than we are.
Well, it's much more horrific, right? And that's
one
of the reasons.
It's more professional, it's more polished, it's more centralized.
Yeah.
On the other hand, for almost everyone in China's a very good place to live, and the level of improvement in that country in the last 30 years has just been astounding, right? You can't argue with how much better it's gotten there since Deng Xiaoping took over. It's tremendous.
Because they embraced capitalism to a certain extent.
They've created their own unique system. What labels you give it is almost arbitrary. They've created their own unique system. As a crazy hippie libertarian anarcho-socialist freedom-loving maniac, that system rubs against migraine in many ways. On the other hand, empirically, if you look at it, it's improved the well-being of a tremendous number of people.
So hopefully it evolves and it's one step better than it used to be.
The way it's evolving now is not in a more
positive
freedom-loving. Well, it's not in a more freedom-loving and anarchic direction. One would say it's positive in some ways and negative in others, like most complex things.
Why are you in Hong Kong? Why do you live there?
I fell in love with a Chinese woman. And,
there you go. Good enough reason.
Yeah, it was a great reason. We had a baby recently. She's not from Hong Kong. She's from mainland China. I met her when she was doing her PhD in computational linguistics, and